on That's Your Man. That's Your Man. And be the illest representing Brooklyn, acting like it's Nebraska. You know what he would get on the phone and do? See if I could flip Kyrie Irving for James Harden in a deal. How about that? Sometimes
Kyrie's not coming to work.
News like
Harden
this,
wants to go to Brooklyn. Do you think that could actually be a trade that would happen in the real NBA this season?
I don't.
Okay.
But it does make sense. It does make sense, but I don't. I really don't.
Okay. We'll move on in advance of the match. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
We're going to hit the brakes.
We'll hit the brakes on this one. You know I love LaMelo Ball, who had some trouble shooting, but 14 rebounds and 7 assists. And Gordon Hayward has been playing like the Gordon Hayward of old that you fell in love with. Is this for real, or is this just a hot start and will eventually cool off?
You know, sometimes certain players like the Joker and Gordon Hayward, I shouldn't like them this much. Like, I just like those guys the way they like what they bring to the team. And this squad has won 4 in a row. And you're right, Melo struggled from the field, but game leader in rebounds, team leader, game leader in assists, got a couple of steals. Like, you got to give them props for the way they're developing their young talent, both of these young teams.
Absolutely. And if you're not paying attention to League Pass and you're on the East Coast and you're not staying up late watching the Blazers, then you're missing out on one of the best performers this league all season long. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
That man that I was discussing is CJ McCollum, who has been going off this season. What do you think about McCollum last night?
What I think is when we started this show, maybe 9 or 10 years ago, he was getting drafted. I, and the podfather, William Simmons, walked into a room and we were about to interview this young man that I got a chance to see play in college. And can you tell the audience what I told you about CJ then?
We were all in love with him. We were all in love with CJ when I walked out of that room. Not only that, he's not only peaking in the NBA, but he's going to have a long post-NBA career here in the media because he is that savvy and articulate and intelligent about the game. Big shout to CJ McCollum, who's finally starting to get some flowers because he's often overshadowed by his backcourt mate, Dame Lillard. Jalen, De'Aaron Fox did something rude to Domantas Sabonis.
I like this. Yeah.
Rude.
Hit the brakes.
It was just rude.
Jalen,
watch this dunk and tell us what you see here on the screen.
So it's so many things happening. So first off, the quickness. Second, the ball handling with his right. The third thing, the explosiveness. And the fourth, he dunks it with his left. It's so many things happening on that play, dog. Look at this. Like, that's
right past Sabonis, right over Brogdon.
You ready for this? Way to represent lefty number 5. Like at 6'8", that's how I used to see myself in my dreams. That's how my footage should be, dog. You know, that's how my footage should be. You know, I used to see
Grant Hill. You got a lot of buckets, but they didn't look like that.
I used to see Penny. I used to see Grant Hill. I used to be like, you know what? I ain't that good at basketball, man. Look, this is how my highlights should look, man. Way to represent De'Aaron Fox, the lefty number 5, doing things that I could never do.
And you know one thing I like the bench reaction too. Because you don't got the fans in there going crazy. So usually your bench has got to be a little extra when you make a play like that. Big shout to the Kings. We have some new information from NASA about naps.
Hit the brakes.
Keep moving or hit the brakes. So NASA did some research because they obviously have pilots in very stressful situations, and they said the ideal time for a midday nap is what, Jalen Rose? What do you think the ideal time for a midday nap is?
So I would assume this is probably an hour and a half or maybe 2. So I would think between 2 and 3:30 or 4 p.m. Eastern.
It's 10 to 20 minutes. They're not talking about medicinal naps. They're talking about little naps just to keep you sharp. All right, Jalen. We have a huge game tonight. Juwan Howard leads the Wolverines against a Big Ten rival. We'll get you ready for that right for this. You're watching Jalen and Jacoby. Your perspective on, and it is the saga of Kyrie Irving. He hasn't been with the Nets for quite some time. They say it's personal reasons. We don't know exactly what those reasons are. We hope that he is healthy mentally and physically. There was some video of him at a birthday party that seems to be like his sister's 30th birthday party without a mask on. There's now a report from Woj and Malika that he'll probably not be with the Nets because of that video for about a week. Jalen, what is going on with Kyrie Irving?
That's your man. When KD looks down at his phone and it's Sean Marks and it's Steve Nash and it's Mike D'Antoni, the text says, that's your man. And then he had the nerve to go dolo from state to state. How about that, Jacoby? So hold on. I saw the footage, dog. I saw the footage. And he's an extremely talented basketball player. And when he's on the floor, they're going to be must-see TV. You know how much a fan I am of his game. He's Team Rock. He plays like he's one of the Harlem Globetrotters that's currently in the league. But this type of thing, Jacoby, makes me feel like they not winning the East this year. I know Spencer Dinwiddie got injured, and people are going to say, well, you still got KD, you still got Kyrie, and their team was built like, you know, almost like a Noah's Ark. It seemed like it had two of everything. You still could go to Karis LeVert. You got Adam. You got Allen. You got DeAndre Jordan. But I just feel like it's so very tough to win in your first year. This is Nash, my former teammate's first year as a head coach. And when you can't communicate with your best players, when that relationship isn't, those are the people that you can get on the most, not the other way around, that creates a disconnect. And lastly, what does it say to the rest of the guys in the locker room? Because I haven't looked at the bottom of the ticker and seen that they're disciplining him just yet. Not that I want to get him in trouble, but he's missing games and practices and meetings and whatever. The NBA abbreviated 72-game season has actually started, and healthy players that are getting millions of dollars to play the game that they love are participating for their families, themselves, and their teammates. So whatever he's dealing with, I hope he can find a way to get back to the Nets, because Brooklyn needs him in uniform.
Absolutely. The whole world was so excited to see KD and Kyrie together, and we got it for like 3 weeks. And now Kyrie is missing. It is time for Soft Mover Boss Move. So a married couple was sitting on the couch just watching some TV when the wife noticed that the gentleman's phone was over there on the kitchen counter. So what did she do? She texted him. What happened next? He realized that he's got a text in the kitchen, so he gets up to get it. And what does the text say? Please bring the chips on your way back. Jalen, soft move or boss move, preemptively texting for the chips when you're sitting next to your husband on the couch.
That's a boss move.
Mask at a family birthday party. The video showing Irving smiling and dancing with his sister Asia. If the video is recent, it could breach the NBA's coronavirus protocols. Irving has been ruled out for tonight's game against Denver, his 4th straight missed game. We welcome in Malika Andrews now to tell us more about this. And what is the latest right now on that situation with Kyrie Irving?
Well, Nabil, Adrian Wojnarowski and I have been told by sources that the expectation is that at a minimum, Kyrie Irving will miss not only today's game against Denver, but also on Wednesday, tomorrow at the New York Knicks, and then also hosting Orlando on Saturday. Those games, again, he is expected to miss. Now, in terms of that video, remember that there is precedent for this. The NBA has stipulated in its COVID protocols that players are prohibited from going to bars, to clubs, to lounges. And in addition to that, they are also barred from having gatherings or attending gatherings of more than 15 people. James Harden did it earlier this season. He was found to be in violation of those protocols. He was fined $50,000 and he missed 4 games in quarantine. But remember, when he missed 4 days in quarantine, he didn't miss an actual game. So if he were to miss a game, the league says that he would be fined 1/72nd of his salary. That's what could happen in terms of Kyrie Irving moving forward. But again, this is something that is in the early stages of being reviewed.
There was a game canceled yesterday in the NBA, one canceled today. I should say postponed yesterday, postponed today in the NBA. Ongoing discussions right now in the league around this COVID situation. What are you hearing about those discussions?
Well, as Adrian Wojnarowski reported, the Board of Governors is expected to hold or will hold a special session